Welcome! How to solo over chord progressions Part 2. In Part 1 I talked about the pentatonic scale and the three major chords and the three minor chords that you have in the key of C major, like C, F, G, A minor, D minor, E minor. And how you can play over those chords just by using the C pentatonic or by adding a blue note like the E flat here on the G string. And how you can expand this by adding some chord tones. Like for example, if you add the note B on an A minor chord, we have the B here on the high E string, and this gives something interesting. So then I showed how to play our chords that lead us outside of the key of C. For example, we had the D7, where you can focus on the F sharp. Then we had the F minor, where you can focus on the A flat. And then back to the C pentatonic. So this was a quick recap of Part 1. In Part 2 I want to give you more chord examples that lead us outside of the key of C. The first chord that I want to add to a standard song in C is the A7. So you pretty often have this chord progression: C, A7, D minor, and a G. But the A7 has a note C sharp in it. And C sharp is not in the key of C, obviously. So let's think about the chord tones here in the A7. In our fifth position, we have the A7 chord here, and the C sharp is here on the G string. Now going from there, we have the C sharp, the E, G as a 7, and then the root note A, and another C sharp here on the high E string. G, E, and another C sharp here on the A string, and then the root note. So try to practice this really slow and to see those chord notes. The next step would be to think about the chord that we are going to, that we are leading in. So we are going from the A7 to the D minor. And now let's check this out and find notes and paths that we can use for our improvisation. So if we are going from the A to the D minor, so we can go like this. We can lead from the C sharp to the D, or from the E to the F. That would be really good solutions. And then also we can go from this high C sharp, we can lead into the D. Just to give you some ideas how you can lead into from A7 to D minor. Let me give you an example over this chord progression. And I will be mostly using notes around this position. I might also use a little bit a higher position here. You have the A7 also here. There's the G, A, C sharp, and then you can lead into the D, A, F, D. Let's see what other notes we can add over the A7. So if you add like the D as a 4, then we can add the F. That's a flat 6 or flat 13. There's the G, A, and then we can add the B. That's a 9. So we get all those notes from the C major scale. So if you compare this with the C major scale, we're just changing one note actually. We go from the C to the C sharp. So let me give you one more example for this. I will also play a little bit in this position for the C chord, using the C major notes here, and the A7, leading to D minor, then the G7. You can also see it here, and back to the C pentatonic. So here's an example. There's one more thing I need to mention with the A7 chord. It is quite common to play this chord with a flat 9. So that would be a B flat, for instance here on the high E string. Instead of the 9 here, the B, you would have the B flat. This really depends on your playback, and if the piano player is already adding a flat 9 to the A7, so you might have to react to this. So it's just a different flavor. It's more jazz style or more mellow sound, I would say. Let me give you an example for this, where I'm using leading to the D minor. Side note, just to mention it, if you play with the B flat over the A7, you're getting a harmonic minor sound. So it's actually a D harmonic minor scale, starting from the D. And if you play the A7 with the B, with the natural 9, you're getting a melodic minor scale, starting from the D. Since this tutorial isn't about scales, just forget about it for now and let's see things from the chord tone side. So you can choose either if you play the A7 with the B as a 9 or with a B flat as a flat 9. So I would rather see it like this. And I know guitar players are often focused on scales, but this can sometimes lead to a sound that seems a bit disconnected from the chords and from the chord tones. It might be a special problem for guitar players since it's much harder to navigate on the fretboard than it is on a piano or a keyboard, where you usually know your notes and the notes that you play. But for many guitar players, the fretboard is like a black box, and they don't know the notes or the chord tones. But I find that really helpful and a very musical way to think. Let me give you an example. Cmaj7, A7 flat 9, leading to the D minor. Let's think about another chord that we find quite frequently in such a chord progression in the key of C. It's the E7. A typical chord progression would be A minor 7, G6 in this case, F major 7, and then E7, leading us back to the A minor 7. So for the first three chords, you can stay on the C major pentatonic or A minor pentatonic. And then we are coming to the E7. And so now we have a G sharp in this chord. Here on the G string, we're getting the G sharp. Let's now check out where we have the G sharp and how we can react to this chord. We have this chord, of course, in the 5 positions. E7. Talked about this in part 1. And I think we're focusing on these 2 positions here because they're really fit well with the pentatonic here. So we have E7 here, and the G sharp is here on the D string, 6th fret. We also have the G sharp here on the high E string, 4th fret, and of course then on the low E string. We also have a G sharp here on the B string, in the 9th position, or 9th fret. And it's around this E7 chord. So let's try see the E7 shape here starting from the note E. G sharp, B, D as a 7. then E, G sharp, B, D. Going back like this, G sharp, E, D, B, G sharp, E. So we have those two positions. And this one. And this is usually leading us back into the A minor. So let's practice this also. So back to the A minor. Then the E7. Back to the A minor. Try to practice this really slow and find some paths, how you want to lead from one chord to another. I will give you an example with our little chord progression here. Similar to the things that I said about the A7 chord, you can also use a flat 9 over the E7 chord. In this case, this is the note F. Which I play here on the B string, 6th fret. And then you can also add the note C, which I play here on the G string, and that gives us like a flat 13. You can play the A, which is a 4. And so there you have all the notes that you might play over the E7. And what you find is that there's still almost all the same notes like in the C major scale. The only note that we're changing actually is the G into a G sharp. I play it here on the high E string. You can also play the G sharp here on the B string in the 9th fret. So you can see those two shapes for the E7, and that will be helpful. Let me give you an example where I'm using all those notes now. Let's quickly talk about the half diminished chord that you find on the 7th step of the major scale. In the C major scale, this would be the B half diminished. You could also say it's a B minor 7th flat 5. And yeah, you can find this chord pretty often in styles like a bossa nova or some smooth blues style. And a typical chord progression would be something like this. A minor, F major 7, B half diminished, and then E7. When you're improvising, you can think of this chord a little bit like a D minor with a B in the bass. So this might be helpful for you. Let's quickly find the chord notes for it in the fifth position. So we have the B here, or also here on the D string. Let's go with the B here on the G string. Then we have the D, F, A, and the B. Another D would be here, up here. Then we have the F here, D on the A string, and the B root note. So let me give you an example with this little chord progression. This wraps it up for part 2, and I think we covered the most common chords that you might find in the key of C. We had the chords that are naturally built from the C major scale, like the C major, D minor 7, E minor 7, F major 7, G7, A minor 7, and the B half diminished. Back to C major. Then we also had the F minor, the D7, the A7, and the E7. And I think you should be able now, if there's some different chord, that you can use the same approach and find the chord tones, find the shapes in your favorite position, and then practice them slowly and lead them into the next chord, like we did from the A7 into the D minor, or from the E7 to the A minor. I will give you one more chord progression with lots of these chords in it to practice, and this is C, E7, A minor, D7, F, F minor, D minor 7, and G6. I hope this was helpful for you, and I appreciate your like and subscribe, because this will help my little channel. Thanks for stopping by, and see you soon.